everyone, just a heads up, next week is my planning week. If you're on my Patreon or buy me a coffee, I post a calendar of projected uploads, as well as something I call Planning Week. Planning Week is when I do a bit of catch-up, filming, research, writing, and everything else for the upcoming month. It also means that I don't post anything for that week, and I do this once a month. But without further ado, you're listening, or rather, watching a Randomness podcast. I'm Lulu, your host. This isn't my voice and this is a Flashback Friday. As we exit the dog days of summer and head into fall, I thought this Flashback Friday would be a decent pick. Not quite yet autumn. I Know What You Did Last Summer centers around a group of friends trying to escape a hook man who kills them one by one during their summer vacation. Part mystery, part thriller, and part slasher, we're taking on this journey with the main character, Julie James, who attempts to figure out who's behind the murder of her friends. Julie is able to escape the ordeal, at least she believes she has, but ends up being ambushed a year later by a similar person at her college. Loosely based on 1978's Lois Duncan's novel of the same name, I Know What You Did Last Summer centers around a group of friends who are being stalked by a hookman after covering up a horrific car accident the summer before, which cost the life of a man. And yes, it draws from the urban legend of the hookman, as well as the 80s slasher films Prom Night and The House of Sorority Row. I Know What You Did Last Summer was written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote this after the immense success of Scream. While inspired by the events in Duncan's novel, producer Eric Feig, who pitched the idea to Mandalay Entertainment, altered the foundation of the movie to make it more similar to an 80s film, and was inspired by his father, who was a commercial fisherman. Williamson, who is no stranger to satire within his work, actually wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer as a slasher flick. He included the urban legend of the hookman, which was told by the characters before the car accident. The cast was chosen to be beautiful, but likable. Actors such as Tori Spelling and Uma Thurman turned down the lead role of Julie James, and even though the role eventually went to Party of Five's actress, Jennifer Love Hewitt, she was originally considered for Helen Shivers. The cast included Jennifer Love Hewitt as Julie James, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Helen Shivers, Ryan Phillippe as Barry Cox, Freddie Prinze Jr. as Ray Bronson, Bridget Wilson as Elsa Shivers, Anne Heche as Melissa Missy Egan, Muse Watson as Ben Willis a fisherman, Johnny Galecki as Max Nurek, and Stuart Greer as Officer. Taking 10 weeks to film, I Know What You Did Last Summer's primary shooting location for most of the film was Southport, North Carolina, including a theater where the beauty pageant was held, Old Yacht Basin, and Southport Fish Company. 7 of those 10 weeks were night shoots, which took its toll on the cast and crew. The climax of the movie, where Julie is being held on a boat, was actually filmed on a vessel called Cape Fear River, and they even nearly lost the boat when docking because of the choppy waters. The budget for I Know What You Did Last Summer was $17 million, and on its opening weekend it made close to $16 million in the US and Canada. It ranked number 1 for 2 weeks, and by the end of its theatrical run, it grossed $72.5 million in the US and Canada and another $53 million in other countries. Worldwide it made $126 million. Receiving mixed reviews upon release, it drew a lot of comparisons to Scream, and this could have been because, in the original promotional materials for the movie, they marketed the movie with "from the creator of Scream." Even with mixed reviews from critics and viewers, it still managed to snatch a few awards and be nominated for several more. John Debney won the SCAP Award, Jennifer Love Hewitt won Favorite Female Newcomer, Favorite Supporting Actress, Horror, and Favorite Actress at the Blockbuster Entertainment Award, and Sarah Michelle Gellar won Favorite Supporting Actress, Horror at the same award show. I Know What You Did Last Summer was nominated for a Saturn Award and International Horror Guild Award. A lot of slasher flicks were attempting to capitalize on the success of Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer was no different in this regard. Still, I rate it a 3.2 out of 5, and if you want a cheesy horror slasher classic, then yes, I recommend this movie. Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting this channel by subscribing and giving this a thumbs up. Check out my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee pages. Links can be found in the description box for everything, including to the original podcasts and articles. Until next time, cheers.